So also you need to take a look at one of the things we put together here is kind of a best, middle, worst for internet. Best, of course, is internet tier 1, T1. Tier 1 means that they don't get their internet from anybody else. They are an internet backbone provider. Quest, Sprint, Global Crossing, uh, EXO, Level 3, Time Warner. Those are all tier 1 internet providers, and you're going to want to be on a for your best possible quality. You don't want somebody who is oversubscribing their internet. You can either get those at T1, bonded T1s, DS3s, or bigger. Voice optimized circuits, you definitely there are right now. Covad offers this option, and we actually do sell it. It's a circuit that is separated, where voice is optimized over data, and then of course private network connections that we talked about earlier. The middle road is really business cable, metro Ethernet, fixed wireless. You really want to stay away. Well, we've seen some success in business class cable, but it's been spotty. Metro Ethernet, like FiOS, we've seen some success with that. You definitely don't want to do. You want to do the business version, not the residential version. Remember, you need public IP addresses. Fixed wireless, like TowerStream, we've seen some good success with that. Tier two internet providers, just look for good ones, not poor ones that have poor networks. You can tell by just hopping on the blogs and checking them out. Uh, Residential DSL, you definitely want to stay away from that. You want to stay away from residential cable. Satellite is a please do not at all. It's terrible. ISDN BRI, unless you're in the country, you're never going to see that. Wireless, and when I say wireless in this sense, I mean wireless services like Clearwire or the like, that are not fixed point-to-point wireless solutions. And then you want to stay away from tier three companies who buy internet from companies who have it their own backbone. So these are typically twice removed from the internet, and you're going to have your worst, probably some of the worst quality in that scenario. So the next piece to look at is kind of codec choice and bandwidth sizing. So if you look at G711 ULAW, best quality carrier codec, it's not compressed. A codec is the compression of the actual audio as it passes by. So uncompressed, with all the overhead and all of that, toll quality is about 85K of bandwidth per call. Meaning if you have an internet T1, you could do about 15 to 16 calls concurrently over that T1. Then there's G.729 alpha. That is another compression. That is a compression ratio that allows you to compress the voice down to about 32K per call, or around 30 to 32K per call. Typically, you can get about 35 to 40 calls over a T1 with G729 alpha. It's good for low priority calls and seasonal usage spikes. It's not good for over taxed circuits with high latency and packet loss. The idea is to make sure, if you're going to use 729, make sure that you stay on the good side of the last screen that we were on. So that internet screen, you want to make sure you stay on the good side if you're going to do 729 alpha. Test the codecs over time, but size the network initially, because you really don't know what your internet or your network is going to be like at first. So and your initial testing and your initial setup of the network should be sized for a G.711 implementation. But make sure that you definitely want to test 729 though. And if you do test it, a lot of phone systems allow you to set up a few people in the company with 729 without them knowing. And I definitely would not tell them. You want them to think that everything's the same as always, and then go back and ask them, how has your quality been for the last few weeks? And they probably will say, I couldn't tell a difference. That's the way you want to do it. If you tell them, they will then start listening really hard and tell you every little thing that they hear, and it might have been there before, they just weren't listening for it. Also, make sure that your internet access and your voice service combined do not average over 90% of your circuit size. So if your circuit is 1.5 meg, you definitely don't want to tag that too much. It's okay if you spike over that, but you don't want to consistently be averaging over 90% of circuit. If you find that, you need to then grow that. You need to start looking at about 65% utilization. You need to start looking at options to grow. Remember, a lost packet in G729 alpha is more noticeable than it is in G711 ULAW. So if you are compressing voice, of course each packet is more important, and if you lose one, it's going to be noticeable. So also, let's talk about the carrier side. And everybody looks at carriers for cost. Cost is very important because you want to save money. That is one of the benefits of voice over IP. But there are other things you have to consider. If you want private access, so if you want to go with somebody that offers private connectivity, you need to make sure that they offer public internet options in parallel. You need that resilience. If you choose the public internet, does the carrier support or offer a managed traffic shaping device or QoS device? Does the carrier provide 24 by 7 fully staffed support? And I know that sounds like something that everybody puts on their book, but there are a lot of business providers that only have business hours, weekday business hours, and if you find out, even if you're not a 24 by 7 or weekend operation, if you run into a problem at 4 o'clock on a Friday and you can't get it fixed, it's terrible to know. It's a horrible feeling over that weekend to know that you're probably going to be down half the day on Monday. So you really want somebody that you can reach, not only um, triage, but you want to be able to reach live engineering support 24 by 7. Also, uh, is your carrier available in all of the locations that you have today, or ones that you might have in the future? If you have 5 sites, you don't want a carrier that only can do one. And if you know you're going to be expanding into New York and they're not there, you probably want to look at other carriers. So think a little bit into the future, because you don't want to make implementation changes within right away. So also you want to make sure that they've tested with your brand of PBX. You want a carrier that has a lab that tests PBXs, that has a program for that. Now you need to know they're not going to test every feature of the PBX. They're mostly going to do acceptance testing. Your PBX manufacturer should be doing the actual testing. The PBX, the ITSP or the carrier needs to just validate that with their lab. Also set up inroads with the PBX manufacturers so that they have cross training, cross support, so that they can work together if they find a bug. Also check the carrier's track record. Google them. If somebody isn't if a lot of their customers aren't happy with them, they will vent online. So take a look at that. Now, every carrier is going to have some people that are mad at them. It's just the way. You're not doing business if you don't have a few customers mad at you. But you will see a theme if they're not doing their job. Also, ask your PBX manufacturer who they recommend. If you ask us what PBX manufacturer we recommend, we'll be a little bit like Switzerland. We have a bunch that we work with, and we like the ones that we've chosen to work with. PBX manufacturer will be more blunt. They will tell you which carriers they think do a good job, which ones work best with their phone system. So ask them. Also make sure that there are inroads, that they know who our support is, or they know who the carrier support is, and the carrier support people know at the ITSP know who they are, and know how to work together.